What is this place?
The cliffs are alive, and the waters dissolve the flesh off your bones.
Are you ready to dive deep into Disney's strange world? We've got exclusive content from the animators, voice actors, and co-directors to help you dissect everything this elaborate world has to offer.
This is gonna be awesome!
Number 1. The creators dove deep into all the classic adventure movies. Specifically, Jules Verne films were a big inspiration for the director Don Hall.
I did a lot of research into early adventure novels, which is joyous research, as you can imagine.
We're talking Raiders of the Lost Ark, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, King Kong, and Jurassic Park. Did you recognize any references to those classics?
He's awesome!
He is not awesome!
Number 2. A lot of thought went into the colors of the world. When the movie first starts out, the characters are on a farm, with the main color scheme being blue and green. The animators had to make sure that once they entered Strange World, the colors really popped off the screen. It had to be no question that they were in a completely different world.
In a Strange World, we have every color except green, and probably brown and some neutrals.
In order to achieve this consistently vibrant look, they had to divide all the scenes by color.
This sequence is more magenta, next sequence is more yellow.
Number 3. Coloring the world and designing the world were a completely different ballgame.
Have them, really kind of define the designs, the rules of the world, and then we fill in all of the blanks.
They would then design all of the objects, models, and shapes before adding color and texture.
Even to the point where the world is usually too big and we can't build it all.
They would then use a set extension to fill in the rest of the world all the way out to the horizon.
Yes, okay, I know, I'm happy too!
Number 4. This story pulled at everyone's heartstrings.
We're the cast of Disney's Strange World.
Gabrielle Union was drawn to her character because she felt that her motivations, as a mother, were extremely relatable.
As a very loving, mother and wife, I brought that to the role.
The producer, Roy Conley, said he'd never seen a cast so dedicated and devoted to bringing a story to life from day one. From the day that Jake came in, Dennis, Gabrielle, and Jabuki, they all invested in the story. There's 450 people who have touched this film, and these 4 did such an amazing job in terms of bringing these characters to life.
We're the Clays! We love danger.
Number 5. There would be a fair share of ad-libbing. Though Gabrielle Union is no stranger to film, this was her first huge animated role. She describes working on this film as a dream come true. One of the biggest factors in that was the freedom they gave her in the booth. To be given freedom to contribute was great.
It was just easy top to bottom.
Number 6, or more like the characters becoming the actors.
Suddenly my character has dimples. Suddenly my character's like, boy, bye, what?
The animators kept a close eye on all of the voice actors' facial expressions and body language to the point that they truly did become one and the same at the end of the process.
They're putting all of our mannerisms and our facial expressions into the character.
Number 7. Giving an accurate representation of her character was huge for Gabrielle Union. Not only did the animators take little things from her personality and put them into her character, but they created a totally accurate physical representation of Meridian. Seeing the hair texture of Meridian and the curls, that was huge. Her having very Afrocentric features and her having a shape, hips, that was awesome. The animation team is incredibly diverse, and they really wanted this movie to represent the world we actually live in.
We all want to appear in the world, and we are in the world.
Number 8. The creators had to think so outside of the box.
It broke our brains, but we're all recovering from it. But I think it's paying off.
They wanted everything in this movie to be like nothing anyone has ever seen before, which we're sure you can imagine is not an easy task. They also had to be careful that they weren't distracting from the film's characters. It's most important to honor those relationships within the scene, but there are times when the characters are astonished by what they're seeing. That's when we can really show off this wondrous environment.
Which is the most important aspect of all of it.
Number 9. One director is a Disney veteran, and the other is new to the scene. Don Hall and Qui Gwyn worked on Strange Worlds together, both pulling from their own experiences with their fathers. Though you would think they would clash on concepts, with Qui being relatively new to Disney animation, They had a lot in common. Both of them really liked the concept that when growing up, you didn't want to be anything like your father. But after becoming fathers themselves, they've realized they are more like their dads than they imagined.
Those are kind of almost elements that we didn't realize as teenagers are some of our favorite elements about ourselves.
Number 10. The directors knew from the very beginning that Ethan was going to be a gay character.
It's an aspect of Ethan and just one of the many things that makes him who he is.
Historically, throughout Disney films and animation, the LGBTQ characters were never fully described as such. This movie decided to change that.
It's just accepting it as a normal reflection of our reality.
Number 11. A lot was taken from the actors' movements in the booth.
Yeah, no props. Like the stand, the music stand. You have a few things you can use.
Though there weren't any props in the voiceover booth, the actors still used what they could to convey the movements being shown on screen. At one point, Jake Gyllenhaal had to act out picking up splat, but he had no idea what splat even looked like.
Yeah, it was like, wow. And so I did it, and now that was the way splat was picked up in the movie.
Number 12. The family's three-legged dog. A cool anecdote about Legend is that he's named after Bernie Madison, who pushed really hard for Legend to be in the film. He was honored as an inductee of the Disney Legends program in 2008, and is officially the longest-serving employee of the Walt Disney Company.
Ethan, you brought the dog? He just wants to help.
Number 13. Depending on where the characters are, the sound is completely different. Everything in Strange World is more than meets the eye. You would think that something is just a regular form of plant life, but it's not. It's alive. It also probably makes some sort of odd sound that the creative team had to brainstorm in a meeting we would have loved to be a fly on the wall for. Number 14. We told you before how involved the cast was.
I think the thing about these movies that makes them so fun is the energy that we give to them.
Jake Gyllenhaal, in particular, was very devoted to his character, Searcher, and told the directors that if he was going to do it, he wanted to be super involved.
You probably don't understand a word I'm saying. Of course I understand you.
So involved, in fact, that he would actually have them rewrite part of the script if he didn't think it was true to his character.
Really would be a big part of creating the story. And they were right, and it was just done with so much love.
Roy Conley talked to BuzzFeed about his experience working with Jake. Searcher wouldn't do this. He would say, so then we'd send it back to the writers and they'd rewrite the whole segments.
It was just a loving environment, and it's all in the movie. It really is all in the movie.
Number 15. She was actually hesitant to accept the role of Callisto Mal.
We're not sure, but Avalonia's future depends on us finding out.
It took 3 meetings and a whole lot of character development to get Lucy on board. During her second meeting with Roy Conley, she decided that the character just wasn't her, and she wasn't interested in being part of the film. Roy and the rest of the team really wanted her involved, so they went off and developed the character into more of an adventurer as well as the president of Avalonia. After that, she was happy to accept the role.
It's really involved, and I think it really gives you a better idea of how things are done, how things are produced and created.
Strange World is definitely a unique, collaborative, and diversely represented movie to step onto the scene of Disney animation. What were you most excited to find out about? Let us know in the comments.